Henry was suspended from the ceiling over the pit. His arms were in shackles and his wrists bound together. His feet were likewise bound at the ankles, and a heavy weight was attached to string him out. He whimpered and begged.
Please, dear God, please let me go.
No response came. He hung in his precarious position, awaiting fate, wondering if fate would ever come. The author tapped his pen on the paper. He got to thinking and wondered if somehow, some way, Henry was now real. Sure, he didn't exist, dangling over the pit as he was, till the author placed him there. Still, he wondered if, on some level, this made Henry a thing. Did Henry now exist in some parallel universe? And if so, was his fate dependent on the author's actions? Or was it simply a case of stunning synchronicity? The author pondered this, and Henry pleaded still.
I promise I won't tell anyone. Just please let me go.
The author wondered if perhaps the written character, living within the pages themselves, might be a form of life. Sure, it's a form of life that bore no resemblance to himself, but could he totally negate the idea that Henry might be a form of life all his own? When God created man, he created them in his image, but not as exact copies. There was surely a difference between God as a form of life and man as a form of life, yet God never denied the living nature of man. Henry cried.
Please, whatever you're doing, please don't do it.
The author considered the ethics of his story in Henry. Was it right to make Henry suffer? Even if he was only a literary character, he'd been granted feelings, an existential struggle, and possible outcomes that included hope. If Henry was a living character, perhaps there was a responsibility towards responsible stewardship of him. Even if his existence was a lesser form of being, totally at the whim of the author, it was still an existence.
Does anyone hear me?
The author tapped his pen on the paper still. He was considering letting Henry go somehow. Maybe a lockpick in time, some swaggering hero swoops in to save the day, or just magical flying powers and locks dissolving. The author could write anything he wanted to do it.
Please, will you help me?
No. Stories need resolution. The author picked up his pen and scrawled furiously. A large halberd swung, striking Henry and cleaving him in half. He passed out instantly from shock, and he was dead within mere seconds. His lower body, tied to the weight, fell to the bottom of the pit with a loud thud. The author put down his pen. The story was over. He felt a twinge of guilt about the fate of poor Henry. All the same, he left it up to his readers. It was partially their responsibility, too. If they felt bad about Henry, they could just go back and read the beginning of the story again, and then put it down. That way, they could leave Henry still alive in their minds.